Yeah, good morning, USA, Canada. Good afternoon, England, Europe, Africa. Good evening, Asia, Pacific, India, Thailand, Malaysia, Afghanistan, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and late good evening in Australia. I know people are joining, people will be joining, and people will be watching it beyond today. Welcome to this weekly Saturday series. Hashtag Women Power, a global moment. I am indeed honored to have with me this evening a very special guest of honor by the name of, she's a brand name, Roshani Shenazz from Mumbai, India. Well-known spiritual well-being happiness coach and award-winning best-selling author. It's indeed a pleasure for me to welcome you, Roshani, to this evening, Women Power.
Thank you.
First of all, let me introduce this great Women Power. Roshani is known as an great international practitioner of holistic medicines by UK, approved therapist and a training provider. A dynamic, vibrant, beautiful, 23 years in media and films, where she worked for some of the biggest names in the television and the Indian film industry. Unfortunately, it was interrupted by an unfortunate prolonged illness, compounded by a shared medical negligence during 2005-2006, which got her temporarily immobilized waist downwards. Financially broke, living with her then 85-year-old father, she later sold her home to repay debts. It's a true story of struggle to success. Many other closures of her life followed thereafter. What stayed with Roshani Shenazz, who is there with us this evening, her implicit faith, courage, and determination to rise above all. Interactions with two faith healers during her illness, and later an angel book from a friend, and the Charles Virtual Angel Workshop in 2010 made Roshani cognizant of intervention of those powerful beings in human lives. Trusting her intuition, despite financial obstacles, she quit her media dream job to embark on her journey of spiritual to enthuse people, unveil their own divinity, the potential, the recognition in others. Transformation followed and still continues with Roshani. Roshani is Roshani the Light, inspiring many lives across the globe. Roshani's mission is to empower and inspire as many souls across the world to discover their potential, true potential, their passion. Just a moment, let me close this. True potential, their passion, their life purpose, their own divinity, and that of others. Finally, she is the inner light of many people around the world. Roshani is the founder of Meher Roshani Foundation, an NGO in Mumbai, India, which goes beyond simple charity. She has served as senior faculty, producing and is affiliated with Whistling Woods International, the premier world-acclaimed film school in Mumbai, India. She is also affiliated with institutions Tadomal Sahani Center of Management, institutions under HSNC Board, Rotary Club, Rex Global Fellowship, and Karamveer Chakra Institution and Speakers Bureau. She is United Nations I-Congo Rex Fellow, Global Fellow, and Karamveer's Chakra Awardee, a member at the Unity in Diversity World Civil Society, India chapter, and Global Dialogue Foundation, and mentee at the Charlie Blair Foundation.
Cherry Blair. The Cherry Blair Foundation.
Cherry Blair. Some of the beautiful work done by her has been immensely recognized around the world. A human potential enhancement catalyst, wellness and mindful coach, consultant, happiness mentor, holistic living spiritual medium therapist, best-selling author, growth workshops, seminars, books, meditations, talks, so on and so on. She conducts special corporate and institutional programs with a true focus on the power of individual and collective organization success. She is the director of India chapter of UNAOC and Global Dialogue Foundation, Australia. She is appointed member of the Sexual Harassment Committee of CGHS Mumbai, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, India. Founder, trustee, and managing worker of Meher Roshani Foundation. Winner of many awards on coaching, guiding, healing, social responsibility. Top 20 authors, shortlist winner of the recent one, Golden Door Award Singapore, and winner of Golden Door Rex Karamveer Medal for Truth Telling Writers Change Champions 2020. Global Peace Leadership and Excellence Award 2018 at World CSR Day. UN I-Congo Rex Karamveer Global Fellowship and Silver Chakra 2016. Bronze Chakra Award 2014. Inspiring Women Leader of Tomorrow 2016. Women Achievers Award 2016 by Young Program Trust Mumbai. Mentee Alumni, Cherry Blair Foundation UK. Member and visiting wellness facilitator at the WII Forum, founded by eminent author, enabler of women in leadership, Mrs. Poonam Burwa. Secretary General of NGO Women Movement of Peace and Prosperity, has been invited as an inspirational keynote speaker at various spiritual development inspirational forums in India and abroad. Author, Angel Speaks, Your Daily Dose of Divine Love, which went into second reprint in 2 weeks and launched in 2016 February. Featured on Radio 1 Pune for sharing wellness and empowerment. Contributing writer for renowned magazines Life Positive, India and Beyond, a Southeastern Asia magazine from Malaysia and other empowerment spiritual portals. I don't know, featured in the Ask the Expert section of Angel Soul Guidance. Invited to be panelist at World HRD Congress 2012. Featured in Khaleej Times July and November 2013. Featured twice on air spiritual counseling on Radio Spice Dubai. Angel Court columnist in Mumbai Times. Daily Channel Wellness and Angel Messages.
I think.
And then finally, she is today with us. I can still go on and on. Roshani, you are the light of the world, the female power. My God, how do you do it?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pakshiji. First of all, I'm honored and blessed to be with you on this empowering show of bringing in powerful women across the world on this platform to share their love, compassion, gifts. And it is truly a remarkable endeavor that you have taken on, being a man. And it goes well with a hashtag that years back one used to use very, categorically, where a lot of negative feminism would be heard around. And I would always say that the striking the balance is so important. And there are so many he for she's, because there are so many wonderful men that we need to be proud about as well in our lives, who have supported us. It could be our fathers, our husbands, our uncles, our best friends, our bosses, and so many. I've been fortunate enough to have some amazing men in my life, all throughout, right from my father being the first one, who has, been there and supported my dreams, supported my vision, supported my missions, however bizarre they may be. And today I stand here with the collective force and support and efforts of every single person in my life.
Very great.
Thank you so much.
Roshni, I am really honored to have you with us on this show. And when I was researching about you, it's a true story of success, struggle, and rebuilding success, rebuilding excellence. It is phenomenally a great story. I am going to be asking certain questions, and I would be requesting the attendees at various platforms to please keep on asking their questions. Once I am through, I would take up questions from them. And those who are on Zoom, I would unmute them and they can ask the questions themselves. So, Roshni, I don't know what to say, but I would say that you are one of a very powerful woman who actually was at the peak of your life, and suddenly something happened, and then it put you completely pain, and you bounced back. It's a story of bounce back, I can say. Can I start my questions, Roshni?
Sure, sir, please.
Roshni, we see you today now again after bouncing back, a woman of excellence, a powerful woman. And powerful woman is not with power. Powerful woman is by your character, by your integrity, and what you contribute to the society and to the future generations and to the global world. The world which I call one love, one human race, and one world. Now, looking back when you were a child, I want to see that child in you. How did you move forward being a girl child? And you know, in India, it's very tough, a girl child moving forward. What was that when you started growing? Who were the people who supported you? Of course, it could be your parents. And who were the mentors who supported you to grow?
So I come from very humble beginnings of middle class Zoroastrian family living in townside in Mumbai. And my childhood supporters, along with my parents, a strong, very strong influence has been my aunt Perrin Nadirsha, who was my educator, my mentor, my best friend, and everything else. She was a spinster in life and lived with us. And she was a teacher at heart, at profession, both. And she gave tuitions in our house. And our little, maybe about 350 square feet house was filled with almost 15, 20 children every single day, sitting all across the floor, right till the end of the room where the door began. And that's where my life comes from. Wow. So right from childhood, I have seen or, grown up with what giving is. And that giving has been a very integral part of my life. My mother is a great influence on that front. My mother has been, I often used to say she's born in the wrong times, because she used to be naive, very gullible, very sweet, completely trustable to everything. Even if the thief comes in the house and tells her that I'm, here for your good, and if you give this away to me, it'll be good for you, she would believe that possibly. So she was such a kind soul, and with both of them, with my father, with my mother, with my aunt, all three of them, I saw them as givers in life. And that was a very subtle mentoring that I received from them. I was always a very bubbly, though, I was the only child. Usually people say, oh, you don't have brothers and sisters. Oh, how sad, you should have. And I was very happy. No, I don't have brothers and sisters. I'm very happy alone. Whatever my mother, father have, no, comes only to me. I was very thrilled with that. But I would share and love and play with all the tuition children that came. I was very active in school. After my parents, my teachers play a very, very important role from Girton High School in Slater Road, Mumbai. Parsi School, one of the first girls' schools, started in 1888. And then it became a cosmopolitan school as well. And my teachers in Girton High School played the next most important role in molding me to who I am today. From inside and the outside grid, both. So our teachers, I always felt, did not teach us chemistry, biology, and English. They taught us life.
Absolutely.
And I cherish my teachers till today. Sorry. I feel extremely close to them. Wow. And in fact, the birth of my NGO was on the passing away of my very favorite teachers, Miss Bolar, in 2013. I often used to do little things for our teachers. Right from third standard, I remember, I used to paint and color hand-painted greeting cards for Teachers' Day. And with a card and a rose, all 20, 30, whatever teachers were there, I don't remember, 15, 20 teachers around at our time. Every Teacher's Day, I would give a handmade card to each and every teacher. And I continued that about 7 years after passing school as well. And then with my shoot and my travel, with my film work, I could not do that. And my physical, going to school and giving them cards kind of phased out. But yet I would make a phone call. So I had gathered everybody's numbers, most of them, and some who I did not know. I have my Miss Engineer, who is like our yellow pages for our school. Miss Engineer knows most of the students, and she was our primary teacher, extremely loving, and I'm still in touch with her. My principal, Mrs. Nawaz Sanjana. So Mrs. Rodrigues, Mrs. Mistry, and each and every one, my sports teacher, my PT teacher, my singing teacher, Miss Suto, to my history teacher who had this black and red diary. And in the black diary, there was only one name, Mischief Monger Nadir Shah. There wasn't anybody else's name in there. And my life has been full of fun, that spirit of, growing up with madness, craziness, kind of a thing. And being a Parsi, somewhere that inherent madness is also there. So it just coupled up with the craziness in life. And I think my childhood, even though the biggest lesson through my childhood that I learned, that there is a difference between needs and wants.
Wow.
My father was the only working member as such. My mother sat at a sandalwood shop owned by my grandfather and earned from there. The work that she did earlier, the company had liquidated and, they closed down. So my mother and father both combined made very, very humble earnings. And through that, they not only gave me a life with everything that I needed, but also saved through their life by compromising and sacrificing their joys, possibly, of travel or whatever it could have been. And I saw in my life that I may not have got everything that I wanted, but I got everything more than I needed.
Wow, that's a very powerful statement. First of all, great respect to your parents, your teachers. Some of the teachers you took names, the principal, and I always believe, in case you get a God or a teacher in front of you, we salute the teacher first and then the God. In fact, I wanted to, we are all, learning from each other. You are going to be my teacher today. I will learn a lot of things from you. And I want to compliment here one of my very powerful human, women power in the world. Her name is Melanie Fale. Milani is our women power in Spain. You know, I met you through Milani, and
Yes.
I must put it on record that I could not know Roshani, but it is Milani, the women power of Spain, who is part of this movement. She connected me to Roshani, and she
Yes.
became a very great networking personality of the world. I really respect Milani a lot. She does a lot of work for spreading women power, a global movement in the world. Roshni, of course, parents, mentors, teachers, colleagues, you talked about many people. And I am now trying to see in you who impacted you most in terms of professionally and personally. And I am actually looking at your two innings. And here now, in this question, I am going to talk about your first innings. The first innings was television and film industry, the Bollywood. Who were the role models who made you to grow? What did they do different to make you grow and glow? You became what you planned, or it was just an unplanned. Can you share us the story of your first innings?
So actually, it was a completely bizarre choice at that point in time. So in the 90s, earlier in childhood, I wanted to do several things. I wanted to be a dancer, then I wanted to be an air hostess. And then at around seventh, eighth standard, when I realized that, I can't be more taller than already I am, I said, okay, I can't be an air hostess. But that is how our children's minds are. There are so many things that you are passionate about when you are young. But at the back of the mind, there always has been this, that wish of sorts to be a part of the film industry. I have been a film buff right from my childhood. I could dance at a drop of a hat. I could remember songs that I've never even had cassettes or CDs later on off. And if I would hear a song, I could lip sync and remember the song there and there. And I loved film so much that I used to be thrashed. We didn't have a television in our house. We couldn't afford one till I was in my 11th standard almost. We didn't have a phone in my house till my 10th standard. And even without all of that, the influence of films and television was pretty high. So as I retrospect, I think I brought it from some another lifetime for sure. And there are times where I have, as I said, been beaten up for getting into the house of a neighbor and sitting there and not coming out while watching the Chitrahar and Chaya Geet when I was supposed to study. And being there to watch, like, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12 also at sometimes in the very famous Minerva and Apsara and Novelty Theatre in Townside. So then by 8th, 9th standard, I was more sure that I want to get into advertising, I want to get into films, television, whatever, within that space. I didn't know exactly what, because like 50 generations back and forth, nobody in my family knew anything about that industry. So there was nobody I could ask or, take advice from. And for a typical Parsi girl growing up, it was more to do with my, though my aunt wanted me to study, I didn't want to study, though I was extremely good at studies. But my thought process of studying further was not there. Maybe it was combined with that, no, with the kind of situation that, earning situation in the house. I want to earn for myself sooner and not waste time unnecessarily studying with all these books for another 5 years and 10 years kind of a thing. And the other part was that I wanted to get into something that I was passionate about. I wasn't passionate about studying, to be very honest, at that time. Though my aunt wanted me to be a CA and wanted to, or be a lawyer because I could argue very well. So, but I kind of bombarded with my choice of going to Sophia Polytechnic in 90s and do my course of commercial arts over there, which would then maybe give me an opening into the advertising, industry. But after the first year, I could not continue so due to the financial difficulties. And it was very expensive because a whole lot of things need to, it is a 5-year course. And there are a whole lot of investments of things that as a student also that you need to do when you move up. So after the foundation, I dropped and I was fortunate enough to get a job at an editing studio.
I see.
It had a job of a studio manager, receptionist of sorts. So I somehow from inside, I was always a vision person. I would not see, what is the benefit right away. I wouldn't see that. I would try to perceive what could be the benefit 3 years later, 1 year later, 5 years later, kind of a thing. And I thought to myself, I felt good with the people who I met, and after I met them, and it was called Magic Craft. I still hold dear. The owners are still very good friends, and I got my opportunity to work as a studio manager out there. And I thought I will work my way up to learning things in the studio to get into the industry that I so love. So I was, granted the permission to assist in the edit room at times. I would label the beta tapes in the older times that were there. I would put it into the beta editing machine. I would take out the tape. I would eject the tape. I would make all the stacks of the masters. And I started doing all of those kind of things. Then, uncannily enough, in one of the ads, one of our production houses who used to come for editing over there, asked me, hey, would you do hand modeling for us? And I said, oh, what is that? I said, oh, when models don't want to do close-up shots and all, we have these hand models. I said, oh, great. Does it pay? She said, of course it pays. Because at that time, earning and bringing back into the house was very important. So I said, oh, great. I'm thrilled. I will do it. And I started hand modeling. So when I started hand modeling and going for the shoot, I did tips and toes. I did the very famous surf ad, which goes as "Dhoonte reh jaoge." It's a very old ad.
Oh, is
and,
it?
And then a couple of soap ads, Rexona and a whole lot. But when I started going for those shoots, after one or two ad films like that, I kind of, would engage with the production unit. And I would tell them, you need help? No, please tell me. So, acha, acha, go do this. Okay, do that. Oh, pick up that. Oh, put that up there. Oh, take that light, tell that light person like this. So I would keep learning. I would not waste my time to be a hand model sitting in that room or anything. I would sit on the sets or sometimes on the floor as well. There was, no chair available, and keep observing what the director is doing, keep observing what assistants do and things like that. And then I started doing freebie production work. And I said, oh, please, if you want a free assistant, extra hand, I'm always there. And that's how I entered the arena of television, of advertising films. And slowly it moved on, to cut it short, that after I moved on from the studio, and very lovingly, Asha ji was Asha Faith, the owner. She's no more. And her son Ashok is a very good friend. Dinesh was the other elder son. And they gave me that leeway to take that leave, to go on a shoot, to learn new things. And I really owe it to them more than the people who gave me the chance later. Because if I would not get exposed to go out at that point in time, for 2.5 years that I was there, I would not, I would need to start something after I go out. So I learned a lot while there, and then started doing small ad films. So I started doing small promo films for Hindustan Levers and sort of kind of, and then did ad films with other directors and so on. And then came a time in 1996, I lost my mom. I was just about 21 years old. I started working in the 90s. I was 17, just out of school, kind of a thing. I was 17 and a half about when I started working. And mom just went off suddenly. But that's how she wanted. All her life, she would tell me that I have Zarathustra, our prophet. So she would tell me, I have told Zarathustra, I don't want anything. I just want to work and be working till the last breath. I don't want to be a burden on anybody else. And these were her words very often all throughout life. And that's exactly how she went, where she was clinically almost dead in coma after brain dead on the birth date of Zarathustra, which is called Khordat Sal, which is a festival which comes about a week later of the August Parsi New Year. So mom left me, and possibly her blessings to where I wanted to really move became, translated into reality in 1996 itself, when I joined Mr. Subhash Ghai as an assistant director in films. And that was my dream step into Bollywood kind of a thing. And I had no godmother, I had no godfather. I had nobody to recommend me to another job. I had nobody to take me there. After my advertising, I joined Channel V. Rakesh Sharma was the head of Star Plus. And even then, at that time, I wanted to direct and all. But Star Plus was not doing any productions. And Rakesh asked me that, would you want to assist me in programming before things start? And then you can look into if at all, shift. And I was very happy doing that rather than going away and trying to get a job when programming started, internal production started. So I paved my way through working with Star Plus when it came in 1993, and worked for a year and a half with them. I produced a program called Timex Time Pass with Javed Jaffrey, which was hilarious. And it was very close to my... Yes, Timex Time Pass was very close to my heart because I had as bizarre a sense of humor all my life that Javed had. So Javed and I got, in good camaraderie to work together, have a certain wavelength of work. And then he offered me to do Boogie Woogie, which was on Sony. So I did the first 20 episodes with the entire unit with Naved, Ravi, and Javed. And in fact, in one of them, when a participant didn't turn up, they made me participate in it as well, extempo, because we had one less participant. And coincidentally, nobody knowing that I'm a working person or I'm a director, I won that episode as well. So it was such a fun-loving atmosphere of, growing there. And everyone that I worked with seemed family to me and was family. We never were a seller, vendor, or a working unit kind of a feeling. And then in 96, I got on to work on my dream job in films. And Pardes was my first film as assistant director.
Oh, wow. What a fantastic journey of film and television. And I can see some of the emotions. Have a glass of water, have something to drink.
Yeah, I will.
I am a Kashmiri. I am taking, we call it sheer chai. I am enjoying the tea with the salt and milk. One of the best Kashmiris produced. It's not a kawa. It is called sheer chai. Those Kashmiris who are watching me live, I am having sheer chai in a mug, which is given by my son, and it is written, my dad, who lives in Canada. I don't want you to be emotional. I want you to cut back.
I'm fine.
Now, I have another question for you.
Sure.
Now, I come to your most tough part of your life journey. I understand in 2005, everything stopped. And that's what I am keen to know. Even audience who is watching you now and who will be watching you later will get the story of struggle, and then moving from story of struggle to story of success. Everything stopped in life. The story is painful. Can you tell us how did it come to a standstill? What happened? Sorry, my dear friend. Sorry, my dear friend, but we need to know about it. Let the people, let women around the world learn from this. That even if there is a debacle in life, how positive, how faithful you had that trust of returning back. Tell me about this story and make it small so that there's no much of emotions.
That's fine. But before that story, let me tell you that I have a directory of such depicals before that as well. So
Oh,
I used to laugh out when in the film industry that, you know, we used to laugh about one actress called Nirupa Roy, which everybody would be doing, due respects and love to her, the soul. But at that time, we used to laugh that, oh my God, why is every film director making her ill and sick and poor? Like, you know, there is no illness that Nirupa Roy would not have in a film. You know, koi bhi film dekho, kuch na kuch unko hai. Aisa kyun hai? And we used to laugh about it. And I used to put myself with the way my life turned out, that I think I'm like Nirupa Roy. Back fracture, ye, car accident, bike accident, typhoid, falana, ठिकाना, cervical prolapse, twice partial paralysis. तो मतलब क्या है जो नहीं हुआ है? And I used to laugh out. I've come out of all of that every time. But in 2005 was a prolonged, or rather the last nail in the coffin kind of a situation, where I almost experienced the thought of going away and still being there on earth. So in 2005, when the floods, Mumbai floods happened, and I was working with Balaji at that time. I was creative producer for Kya Cool Hai Hum first part and head of the films at Balaji. And when the Mumbai floods of 26 July happened, we were all trapped inside the office. And with my, you know, restless enthusiasm, around 12 o'clock midnight, I engaged about 8-10 of us and said, let's go home. You know, we can't be here. There's so much of everybody is cramped and we must see what we can do. So about 10-12 of us held hands and we walked through those waters and reaching Lokhandwala. But from just Fun Republic to Lokhandwala also was about 2.5 hours of walking, 3 hours of walking in the floods, in the waters. And with my supersonic height, I was like trying to tiptoe and walk through those waters with no chappals, because the chappals went away into the waters within the first 15-20 minutes of trying to cross the lane. So it all happened, and that diclocycline or something, the tablet, you know, the messages went on, please have this tablet and all. I sent almost nth number of SMSs to everyone. But by the time the chemist downstairs opened up, that medicine was not there for me to buy. But anyways, a month went, and then Ganesh Chaturthi came. So possibly, I don't know, there may be more, but not in my knowledge of another Parsi who has Ganpati at home. So it is not 21 years since the year 2000 that I have Ganpati in my house. And 19 years, I don't know, 20 years. And so it was Ganesh Chaturthi, and it was almost a month after the floods and all. So on the second day, where we used to have a 1.5 day Ganpati. So on the first day, I was feeling a little uneasy, but I kind of disregarded that. And then on the Visarjan day, that time a pandit from our office at Balaji used to come to do the, Sthapit Puja, Visarjan Puja and all. And on the Visarjan day, when my little, colleague, right hand and support little brother Saurabh was there at home, one or two other friends were there at home who had come for darshan actually. And my friend Rupali, I owe a big time to her through this illness of being with me. And I just collapsed. And they had to take the Ganpati for Visarjan and all. And I got admitted to a local hospital, Bellevue Hospital. And I was there for some time, about 2 weeks or so. And I was detected with leptospirosis, which had spread at that point in time. It was quite lethal because many people succumbed and had died through leptospirosis. I got back after 2-3 weeks, and then work started as normal. I was 1 month away again. And then again, after a month, it was almost like a relapse. And Rupali was there with me on that day. She had come home for something and we were chatting. And once again, I suddenly collapsed in the house and she rushed me to a hospital. And that's where everything began. So at the hospital, now this was a bigger hospital that she took me to because she knew somebody who knew somebody over there and she didn't know what to do alone. So after going to the hospital, they did a couple of tests and all, and it just went on prolonging. And at some point in time, we realized that I was almost made a medical guinea pig because they could not find out they could not diagnose what is wrong with me. I was pumped with almost 17, 18 tablets a day. I had gone to 28 kgs. I was in the ICU most of the time. And I was like neither here, neither there, but I was still conscious. I had iron levels to some bizarre state, which is not possible at all for somebody to be conscious. And everything as far as body vitals were totally in depletion.
Oh my God.
And then I used to, but keep on saying, like today, my aunt or anybody who was seeing this, I used to keep on saying, my best friend who actually the catalyst to get me out of the hospital, Fardeen and Somit, and Kim, who is in US, she was the vice consul of the US consulate. It was one fine day after months of hospitalization over there. I had 256 tests done on me, including bone marrow biopsy and twice spinal cord puncture.
Oh my God.
And it's when Farzeen and Somit came and events took place at that time where they realized and were wondering why these certain tablets were being given to me. So Kim went ahead and made a list of all the tablets. And then we found out that all those were practically, most of them were, neuro or psychosomatic tablets kind of a thing, which are given for nervous breakdowns or, psychological treatment wise. And for all those months, I had my vitals with blood in the urine. I had a constant temperature of 102. All of those things were there. And yet they had no diagnosis. So any which ways, then came a point that I had to be actually smuggled out of the hospital because they refused to give me a discharge. Mm. And then after a lot of firefighting that my friend Supriya, Farzeen and all of them did, and by that time I had 17 doctors on the panel with daily fees of 2,000, 3,000, whatever was being charged would come to visit. And they actually were trying to prove that I've gone, mad. Because they would come and ask me the date of the day, what month is it, where do you live? And they would, pat me on the cheek. And bizarre things kept on happening. And somewhere inside me, I kind of didn't know when I would be out of this, but something inside me told me I would be out. And sometimes on a lighter note, I would think, yaar, abhi to maine picture bhi nahi banai. Ganpati Papa, I have not made my own film also. You can't take me away so soon. Mujhe to picture banani hai, film for award jeetna hai. So on that, that passion of being a filmmaker, those were some silly little thoughts that came in as well. But more so ever, it was that larger space of, no, I have to come back. I have to be there for my father. What will happen to my dad if I'm not there? So all those things were running parallelly at that point in time. And then I got out of that hospital and shifted to another hospital where my recovery began. And while the recovery was going on, about 2.5 weeks later, because I was on bed for almost 10 months, 11 months by then, they needed aggressive physiotherapy kind of a thing, to mobilize me. So that's when we realized that I didn't have sensation waist downwards. And then they did those nerve tests or whatever, I don't know what they're called. And they realized that I have numbness and I have a certain aspect where there is a partial immobilization, possibly due to the spinal cord puncture that was, done on me. So any which ways, the physiotherapy, diathermy and all of that went on. And then God brought me back to life and I got back to my favorite film industry and work and joined back again in 2007.
Roshani, that's been very tough. And they rightly say, tough times do not last, tough people last. So I must compliment you for being tough against all odds. You come back. I am not going to talk about your first innings. I am not going to talk about this bad pace of life, 10 months and below the waist, numbness. I am going to talk about your second innings. Now tell me, when this entire mishap took place as a women power, now Here is where you will have a lot of respectability when people will watch this video, that how you challenged what was coming to you. You made it that I will not accept this. I am going to move forward in life. There was a situation when you were almost going not to exist at all. And what is that? How did you opt to go to the second innings of your life? What made? Who supported you? Who guided you? Who were the people who made it happen?
So, in its honest, spiritual, and life sense, Bakshiji, I would like to say only God made it possible.
Wow.
Humanly, it is, and it was not possible considering the situation that I was in. So many a times, you know, when people are, it is not that I took on the spiritual path when my father had stack loads of money to, you know, I could rest on, or somebody's inheritance is there, or I myself saved with good money in life, that okay, now let me do what I'm passionate about. So it wasn't like that. Neither I was a spiritual seeker. I was not consciously seeking. I never had a guru or anything of that sort all my life. I was never religious at all. I was spiritual, yes. And the word I can coin to it, because I was always feeling that I was connected with God within. Before I would talk to Ganpati Baba, I would chat. Ganpati Baba was not God for me. He was my brother, mother, father, best friend. And I would talk. Fool gir gaya, Ganpati Baba said yes. So my connect with God was like that. I never in my life, for almost 9 years, I have gone to Siddhivinayak every single, you know, Tuesday and Saturday. But I've never done a mannat in my life. I've never put a sandalwood in my fire temple saying, God, exam mein pass kar dena, so I'm putting this sandalwood. And I've never known that concept of bargain with God. For me, it was, yes, I used to bedhadak ask, Ganpati Baba, please make sure that this happens. Ganpati, please make sure shoot acha jaye. So yes, I would ask, but there would never be, you know, that ye ho jayega to ye kar denge kind of a thing. And through the period from when 2007 that I started off, and then I you know, got into having a family, thinking of marriage and all of that as well. But by the time, so the house we were living in was on loan. I was earning well earlier, so we had from my little father's savings and savings that he had done on my name, we had put in that little down payment and got a home. Because all my life I would tell my parents that from this small home, I'll take you to a bigger home and we'll have servants and you will not have to do so much of hard work. But mommy couldn't see all of that. But I was happy that I could take my father to a better and bigger place. Not in the better sense of just the place, but the better part of moving out of a struggling life. Moving out of, because we lived in a chawl system, so the toilets were common. And my father had chronic arthritis, he had a chronic prostate issue. So he could not control urination. To walk that even that stretch of the chawl sometimes was so difficult for him. So in that essence, I would put it as better. I still have my Grant Road home. I have most cherished memories of my childhood madness and craziness in that home. And I love my building where I born and brought up, you know. So when we were there in this house, I had made it with every little brick, and, you know, tiniest of the thing was things that I'd chosen for our home when we bought that house. And it came to a point where I realized that I would need to sell this because I was almost in 97 lakhs of debt, out of which 68, 69 lakhs was out of my medical debts.
My God.
And the other was the home loan, which was there on my head. And there was no other way. I had nobody. All, you know, my phone, my buzzing phone with 5,000 people who we could call friends today, like Facebook, I didn't even have 5 or 10 around me at that time.
Oh my God.
You know, so I had those very close ones who God had chosen to keep there for me. My friend Rupali has actually bathed me and held me while I was immobilized and living with her, because I had nobody to take care of me after hospitalization. So God has come in such amazing forms, in human, intangible and intangible ways. I had bank loans from 17 to 18 institutions. How is it even possible? I've had friends at that time who had signed on behalf of me and took in guarantee and picked up the loan for me for my paying for my hospital at that time. Only God can do it, Mr. Bakshi.
Roshni, I think this complete painful story has finally gone to the game. And I would give a big round of applause for Rupali. You are taking this name again and again. In case Rupali is going to watch it, Rupali, great respects to you for helping your friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Roshni, now I was examining your journey post this debacle and bouncing back, and I could see that you are now on a verge of which you have created last so many years, wellness and mindfulness and spiritual enhancement. And there's third one, which I will talk in my next question. So what do you do under this wellness and mindfulness as well as spiritual enhancement? And who are the beneficiaries? Can you throw some quick light so that people know about it?
Sure, sir. So, firstly, to put forth that, as I said, my spiritual journey has not come about because it is a different or new profession or some recent fad that I got onto. It was almost universe pushing me into it and changing the gears of my life. Where I was all ready to make a film, मेरी खुद की पिक्चर की स्क्रिप्ट बदल रही थी almost. And as I got into it, I only know one thing, that today when sitting on this side of the fence, when I have to hold somebody's hand and say, have faith, this will change. It's not because I've got certified with any certificate or I've read books. I'm not a reader. I'm not a voracious reader at all. I have maybe 1,500 books, but out of that, maybe I would have not even read 30 of them back to back. So the question is that this seat that God has given is by making me pull out a thick rope through a needle hole, of giving me that experiential faith to have trust in him and his wisdom and will. And to know, and I don't think of this period as a painful period at all, Bakshi sir. I don't even term it as a painful period because it is my period of resurrection.
Wow.
And there was this beautiful thing that came, that no new building can be built up unless the old is demolished. And not only demolition, we have to demolish, then we have to clear the debris, cleanse the debris, and dig again hundreds of feet down to build the new foundation. That's when the tower building in which we shift in a new house from the dilapidated structure is gifted to us. So it wouldn't be possible without that complete breakdown, complete ground zero and below ground zero for this life to be resurrected. And the resurrection was the path. That it is not that this is being given to you, that God is doing this. God is helping you come out, bounce back, giving you these gifts of intuition and intuitive guidance that you receive for others to just get you back and make films again. It is for you to now do this for millions of others. It is for you to carry forward this gift and help each one tap into their gifts. So my work began to help people gain spiritual freedom, to recognize their own divine potential. I'm not special. It's just that in my life, I ordained to activate my gifts as my soul had decided. We all have these gifts. You have it. We all have it. Every single person. It's a latent, inherent gift of the Creator. And the beautiful words that came at that time was that I have to be God's electrician. All of us have these loose wires inside of us. I have to help people connect them to the main socket. Through mindfulness, through guidance, through healing, through the transformation, which is co-created. I don't encourage this instant third eye opening, instant ye ho jayega, instant wo ho jayega. I don't. encourage that at all, because there is no instant coffee or noodles in divinity. There is only diligent, patient, committed, tenacious work that we need to do on ourselves to transform our lives. And I help people to co-create with the divine force. That this divine force is like a toolbox. It's there with you for you. It's your birthright. You use it or don't use it, it exists over there. I help people recognize this toolbox and come in alignment with its energy so that it can become a conducive support on their transformation pathway. So that each one can open up to what they have come here for. To stop spiritual shopping and trying this and trying that and doing this and doing that. No. It is what is there for you, for your soul. It is to help each and every spirit open up to their optimum potential. And that has been my work and journey. Beautiful. And through different modes that God has opened up with, through guidance, through healing, is my work. And then it shifted to corporate work. I've been for 23 years in films, media, and the corporate side, where I've been head of, production and distribution and the corporate programming and a whole lot of things. So I understand the corporate mind. And in 2013, when I was guided, I started opening up my gifts to create corporate modules. So I put my spiritual esoteric wisdom into practical corporate learnings, which can help people in our fast-paced lives not to sit for 4 hours of meditation. Nobody has that time. So I create those peace morsels in ways and, modules and things and exercises, which help the people to enhance their lives in what they are doing and then be the best in that.
Beautiful. I have another question on this where I see you are another model called happiness coaching. I mean, I am a coach. We know about coaching. But what do you mean by happiness coaching? Ladies and gentlemen, happiness coaching is something which I have heard first time. And I would like Roshani to draw some, light on this happiness coaching. Quick, we are moving with the time. We have got to take questions. What is this happiness coaching? And I also understand that you have this NGO, Mayor Roshani Foundation. Please share about this NGO as well.
Okay. On a quick note, just that I think happiness is the basic ground why everybody is existing right now, Bakshiji.
Absolutely.
The peon wants to feel...
COVID-19 has given us a lot of...
Forget the COVID, I feel. Happiness, for example, what is happiness is subjective. Sure. The sweet office boy is happy if he can go at 6 o'clock exactly and be with his wife and children. The manager is happy if he can take his wife for one theater experience every week. The VP is happy if he gets bonus and gets promoted as the president. The CEO is happy if he is incorporated in the board of directors. So happiness is subjective. But what I realized, and that is when I was guided, that everybody is seeking happiness at some level or the other. But to make people know that happiness is inherently again within you is the coaching that I give. And how do you awaken that happiness is not in the money that you will make? Happiness is not in the bank balance. Happiness is not in the new Mercedes. Happiness is inside. How do you open that trap of that well, which is filled to the brim inside you? Put that bucket, which is empty, and draw out the water of happiness every day in your life.
Wow.
How do you do that? Is my work. Through different modules, through different ways. So this is what happiness coaching that I got as a term guided to me 3.5 years back is when I started incorporating it. That the two things everybody has to attain or running after is happiness and freedom. Wow. So through spiritual freedom, I help people know and activate and awaken that happiness which is lying within each one.
You are a package. And how is what about this, your foundation, your NGO?
So the NGO, as I said, in 2013, when a very dear teacher of ours passed away, earlier I used to do a little things. I was the head of the alumni, committee as well for a couple of years. And I used to always think that the teachers who are making us worth lakhs of rupees are depleting in 5,000, 7,000 and 10,000, 15,000 salaries. What justice is that? And they might be dying lives, having no medical assistance, having not much of savings.
True, true.
And I wanted to create that unless I can individually do so much, but if I create a body that can create a conducive ground where I can involve more people into the vision.
Wow.
And primarily it started off to do something for the teachers. So we started doing things for the underprivileged teachers and, you know, so on with also my school teachers as well, my past teachers, I tried to connect. But the main aspect was that teaching was losing. Today, a doctor wants his son to a daughter to be a doctor. Engineer wants his children to be engineers. But a teacher are not the ones who want their children to be teachers. Why?
Right, yeah.
Because we as a society have shortchanged them. We as a society have put them into that category of zero respect and honor for what they are doing. It is because of them that we can go to the Harvards and the Cambridges of the world and become the CEO of the Googles and all.
Sure.
But what are we if they were not there? If that right teacher was not there?
Sure.
And thus it was birthed in 2013. And then we started moving and expanding to do more so ever. And on 5 pillars is where the Meher Roshani Foundation stands. The first essence and ethos of the foundation is to move people away from simple charity. Simple charity means that for everyone, the concept of charity is only money. Yes, money is important, I would say. And we have to respect the money energy because it is the only karmic energy for survival of Mother Earth.
Absolutely.
And that is why we say time is money, because time and money are the 2 energy factors driving the course of our lives. Whether you are born, whether you are dying, whether marriage, whether divorce, whether anything, you are exchanging money at the bottom line. Even if there is a person or a guru or a master doing free work, so-called, for the world, there is somebody जो उसका भरपाया कर रहा है for their living, for their clothes, for their food, for their travel. Somebody is exchanging that karmic money for them to look after them so that they can do work for millions. So there is nothing free in the universe, as we say.
True.
And that is what essence it is. That we help people to move away that no, today Bakshi sir is giving me time. That is far more than money. Bakshi sir could make millions in this 1 hour with me. So when somebody is giving you time, you need to honor them far more than just somebody who is giving you money.
Beautiful.
Because money can come back. You will earn it back what you have given in charity. But the time given will never come back.
Roshni, you are unstoppable. We are already almost an hour. Roshni, another question.
So that is what, but in short, that we do, we are trying to have, philanthropic investors who would help us to create a vocational skill bank, because we want to teach the underprivileged people different vocations of carpentry, beautician, electrician, so that they can become self-sufficient. Because I believe that you cannot keep on providing the fish to millions of people. You have to teach them fishing. And that's what the main area of work is for Meher Roshani Foundation. Besides the charity work, we've been doing a lot of COVID work as well, giving ration to about, units across 7 slum hutment bastis in Mumbai from April onwards. Medical support, rent support, educational fees support. We have a drive right now to collect 8 lakh rupees till February so that we can keep giving, because until March, April, we feel that things are not going to open up for the daily wagers yet. So we are having this drive right now, and I open this invitation to ask everyone who can. Every drop counts. It is on the Milap platform, and we could share it in the comments later. Please go and see whatever that you can contribute. And even if you cannot, please share it to hundreds of people, and you never know if one person also can contribute.
I would like to contribute to that. And in fact, it's going to be phenomenally great learning from this session when you are talking about what all you have been doing and how you're setting value to lives of people. Commendable, commendable, commendable. Roshni, I am in a program called #WomenPower, a global movement. 1 million women on this platform by 2024. People call me crazy. And 100,000 by 2021. Now, this is women empowerment. Yes, this is women empowerment. So what is women empowerment to you? And how will you help on this cause?
Women empowerment for me is empowering the woman, not just to become the equal or become same as men. Because then what is the use if we are going to become same as men? Women empowerment for me is to make every woman realize the optimal potential of her uniqueness, of why she is a woman, the potential and optimistic levels of compassion, of love, of patience, of tolerance, of multitasking, of leadership, of handling a home and a husband and a child and the in-laws and the neighbors.
Amazing.
That's the uniqueness. I don't want women to be equal to men. I want you to surpass your own abilities that God has gifted us with. Hands that rock the cradle rules the world. And that is what a woman is. God has given us as the only species to hold his creation and bring it to life.
Respect to all the women around the world, because women is a mother, women is a sister, women is a partner, women is a colleague, women is a daughter, and all the women around the world are the most powerful, powerful, powerful. That's why this concept is women power. How will you support us?
I am there to support in whatever, through our NGO and other work we are doing it. But once we know the canvas of work, I am there. I'm there to help people understand that let us do awareness programs, that we don't have the herd mentality of negative feminism. Wow. Because that is not going to take us anywhere. We need to realize how to join hands.
I am going to tell Milani to connect with you from Spain to Mumbai. Milani and Roshani can combine and see how Spain to Mumbai can work on.
Absolutely.
I love doing that. I want to ask you another question. We have to close because we have to go to questions. Roshani, you have got many awards. Lot of accolades, lot of awards. And recently you got another very prestigious award, Golden Door Awards in September 2020. I know about this Golden Door Awards of Singapore by the name of Tahira. She's a very well-known lady who does a lot of great work. And I think Milani was also involved into this.
Yes.
So what was this award? And second, how do you get motivated by these awards? And I would also ask you this Angel Speaks. Quick share about this Angel Speaks, but you have to be fast.
Angel Speak book was birthed in 2011, which was my nascent stages of the spiritual life, actually, Bakshita. And I just started my Facebook page at that time. And I used to put out as guided a message and affirmation every day according to the universal energies. So whatever would come to me in prayers, I would put it out there next day. And then I was guided that it would become a book someday. I didn't know when, but I was guided. And I was later in 2011 end told that Life Positive would publish my book. So I went to Life Positive and spoke to Sumaji at that time. But the funny part is that Life Positive was not a publisher at all at that time. And they were only publishing the spiritual magazine, which is now, I think, 22, 24 years, and one of the biggest spiritual magazines in our country. And I was like, okay, then I don't know why I got the guidance, but since I got it, I'm sharing it with you. And then cutting it short, that it was 2015 that Life Positive did become full-fledged publishers. And then my book was out in 2016 January, which is the first oracle book of 365 angel messages and healing affirmations for all aspects of life, along with channeled illustrations of 15 archangels, which can be used for meditation. And this book has brought immense healing, transformation, and guidance in lives. And I thank my God, Master, Mother, Father, Meher Baba for that gift through this entire second innings, because earlier I didn't know of him. And I know that I attribute every breath of my life to him. And it is because of that that I'm standing here today, sitting here rather, in front of you and everyone here. Golden Door Awards was another way, Tahira is, a phenomenal example of a woman of power. And it is, I see my reflection in her in several ways. And we bonded extremely well through the entire process. And I wrote an essay on, again, a very, very taboo subject on menstruation. I have myself been born and brought up in an Orthodox Zoroastrian family, and I know what it is in the Indian customs, the entire taboo of staying separate, living separate, and all of that. So through that, the Golden Door Awards are awards of truth and integrity to support the word of truth and integrity in the written word, and of course, the spoken word as well. So it was to write a truth of your life, something that you've been close with. And I was guided to write on this because the truth had to come out. And I know that there might be several people who would hate me, not like me, think I'm nonsensical to write that. But I had Baba's support to give me that courage to let this out. So the title is The Pouch of Creation and Its Disuniting Beliefs.
Oh, wow.
And it takes through a fictional story, which is not, which is non-fiction because it's real life, of what I've seen several friends suffer and what I have suffered myself to a large extent. And this chapter won the Silver Award at the Golden Door Awards, where I shared the silver prize with Tallulah De Silva from Goa. And there was no golden prize in that category. So we both are happy thinking that that's our gold prize.
Congratulations. This is quite prestigious. Tahira is a very wonderful personality. I've lost touch with her, but through this media today, I would like to say that I have a lot of regard and respect for that woman.
Yes.
She has a lot of good work.
Yes.
Roshani, I want to quickly close my questions. Last question. Pain, gain. Stress, strain, success. You had rough, but you became Roshani. So all this has gone through the process. The people who are watching you or who are going to be watching you, what is your two messages to women? When you get into pain, when you get into roughness, when you get into toughness, the bounce back of Roshani. Here is bounce back. Two messages. Quick one. I want to go to the
first message, to remember that we have got this intrinsic power to triumph any pain as a woman. As human beings also we have, but as women we have a more surplus. Bonus has been given to us. So the power, the tenacity, the patience, the grit, the determination, all are multi-folds in us, and never to forget that. We have to only put it into use. Do not live in any kind of victimhood.
Wow.
That is my second important message. Because there is no victim and there is no perpetrator. No one has the power to make us feel what we feel unless we want to feel it.
Oh, that's a lovely statement you made. No one has the power to feel what you want to feel. It is within you. Roshani, thank you so much. I need to take quick questions. There's a question coming in from the platform. It says, how do you guide your young daughters at home? Give two simple guiding messages for young daughters at home.
young daughters at home, I would ask the fathers first to cherish this fact that they have a daughter. My father would sometimes, I was a very rough and tough kid. So my father used to say in Gujarati, "Tu tomaro dikro chhe," you are my son. And that's how I took on also of, being the breadwinner of the family or, so on. And I used to always say, "No, don't say I'm your son. Say I am your daughter." So the aspect is that keep them as, what they are. Do not try to make them feel any lesser than the sons or the male counterparts, cousins, or whoever in life. Tell her her uniqueness. Tell her why she is her. Motivate her, encourage her for her dreams. And for all parents, one thing, that we all mean well ultimately, sure enough. But each one of us has our own karmic journey to take. Be the pillar, be the support that the children can fall back on. Don't be the pillar that they hit into every time.
Wow.
Tell them where to look, but don't tell them what to see. Because then you are depriving them of their own learning, their own journey, their own lessons. And that is my message to all parents. We do that in conscious and spiritual parenting workshops as well, where we try to explain to parents to understand their own nuances, to understand their own unhealed energies of their own childhood, which far more often, 90% of the times, parents try to imprint onto their children. And that's where the discord takes place.
Beautiful.
So this is a message to all the parents.
One more question from Vinod. Vinod says, when you went to the second innings, who inspired you? You gave the names, but what was your inner calling? Was it inner calling or it was inspiration by someone?
It was totally inner calling, Bakshiji, because as I said, I was not having any spiritual connotation at all or seeking. जो जैसे कहते हैं ना कभी क्या, who am I, भगवान कहाँ है, ऐसी कोई चीज मेरे thoughts में थी ही नहीं. And it suddenly started opening up when I was going through this turmoil of selling my house, of my divorce, of all my friends. Hi, sweetie. Hello, sweetie. सारे cut off हो चुके थे life में. And I was totally ground zero, is when this thing of getting messages of people around me. So randomly I would tell this friend job nahi chhode kyunki usko 6 mahine tak job nahi milegi. Now I don't even know कि वो job छोड़ने की सोच रहा है, for example. Or another friend कि उसको बोलो उसकी शादी 8th June 2010 को हो जाएगी. So I didn't know from where this was coming, and it was bizarre, it was frightening, because I didn't know कि ये दिमाग में कहाँ से आ रहा है, who's talking in my head. And then in April 2010 onwards, I started getting leave your job. Every time that I would sit, I didn't have any concept of meditation. But by that time, I would just sit as touching the wall of on my bed, sit empty, cry out so many times, and I would just get this download of sorts. And I got leave your job. I said, Abhi to I've just got out of a crore debt. And where to leave the job? But it kept on pushing me till one fine day in May, I almost woke up, wrote a handwritten resignation letter and told my office, I'm not coming from tomorrow. I didn't know who did that almost. I didn't know who spoke. It was as if something is taken over me with so much of power. And after week 10 days, it digested कि मैंने job छोड़ दिया है.
Absolutely.
So as I said, it was the universe changing gears of my life. But yes, I had the choice. I had the choice to succumb and neglect that. I had the choice to say all this is rubbish and go ahead on the path and, go back to my films and all. But it was Baba's grace that held me. And I moved on to the path till the workshop in 2010 happened. And after that is when I, as guided, moved ahead to share my gifts through guidance. So the work that I do is called soul therapy. It's divided into guidance and healing. So the first part is intuitive guidance, where it is not just fortune telling, ke ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega. If somebody doesn't have a job, it tells you what in your energy is stopping the job. Is it karmic? Is it something to do with childhood? And how you can pray or do affirmations or healing sessions that can help you resolve this issue. So it is deeper guidance to take you to the root cause. We want to deal with the headache, which is the symptom. But healing is to go to the root cause why the headache came in the first place.
Absolutely.
And that's my job.
Roshani, unending. You are really, really fantastic. And you know what has happened? Milani was in, she was on Facebook, but she came on Zoom. So I am going to request Milani at the end to do a vote of thanks. In the meanwhile, there's a Rotarian JP Malhotra, president of DLF Industries Association, Faridabad. I think he wants to have a question. Mr. Malhotra, your question, please.
Thank you, Bakshi Saab. First of all, let me congratulate you who brought Roshni to audience like me, who has always said कि हम women को guide करते हैं. But today, I felt that we need to take guidance from women like Roshni. That's the key takeaway I have taken from Roshni today, and I'm going to propagate in my circle. Look, it's not always men who can stay ahead. It is women also. Not also. Women can, and there are women who are examples who can lead to a change of thought process. I have heard you word by word, and the ones that you said that you push a big rope into the eye of the needle. Now that is the difficulties which women face. And if you can think of some solution to that, I think the women have got all the power, and we men like Bakshi and me should follow you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Malhotra ji. Thank you so much, Mr. Malhotra.
Mr. Malhotra, a very well-known name on the Rotary as well as the industries, is the president of DLF Industries Association. I have had the privilege of, being there on his association and sharing the thoughts of COVID ability. I have a lot of respect for him. I have
done about 4 or 5 Rotary sessions as well, Malhotra ji.
Okay.
In Mumbai and Pune.
Okay. I am the charter president of my club, Midtown Faridabad. And
Lovely.
I'm a level 2 donor. That means I've contributed $40,000 to Rotary from my own means. And I've been the district finance trainer last year. That's
lovely.
Very integral position. And we had a lot of women presidents. Now the Rotary also, sir, Bakshi Saab, if I take a minute.
Sure.
We have decided that in the international level, the board of the Rotary and the clubs should have 30% women as a part of the board of the club as well as the international, our international. And our international president in 22-23 is going to be a woman.
Wow.
That's the woman.
Yeah, Mr. Malhotra. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much.
My player.
I now have Aditya Vidyasagar, a well-known CRS champion in the country. And he does a lot of work on CSR along with his beautiful wife. Both of them do a lot of work.
Lovely.
Aditya Vidyasagar, your question.
Well, good evening, Ms. Roshani. You really have been an inspiration today. I'm really thankful to Mr. Bakshi to have found you and got you with us and to listen to you. You are really an inspiration.
Thank you.
Let me share one more thing.
She's an angel. She's an angel.
Yeah, but that's what exactly I'm going to say in other words. Ms. Roshani, you are surely a godsend for not only being such an achiever, but have faced all these incidents which you mentioned in life, has packed you with, and for having bounced back. That was the beauty. Having faced so much of it, and you have bounced back so well, and so highly spirited. You are so highly spirited that you spirit others. You are commendable, let me confess, and an inspiration to so many. Kudos to you. And I really am thankful to Mr. Bakshi for having done this today. He is bringing us so many wonderful people with us, and we are learning day by day, every day, in fact, whenever he has a session, that what power lies with us in people like you. And the friend you mentioned, I'm sorry, I've forgotten her name. You mentioned who helped
Rupali.
Rupali, yes.
Rupali.
My personal regards to her for keeping the humanity alive and making everyone feel that if you just a little small sentiments or just a little helping hand can make one go beyond and achieve all what you have done. My heartfelt thanks to her.
Thank you. I have a full list of those names, Aditya. You know, as I said, from my friend Kim,
To-
Farzin, Somit, Supriya, to my family, my Masis and everyone, to a few. You know, there's a very unique thing. I'm sorry, one moment. My friend Anirudh, that time used to work for Radio City. And there was this somebody who I didn't know at all, one person called Mr. Das, who used to work with to do passport things during our film time. So he had called office and got to know that I'm in hospital, and he came to the hospital to meet me with a small transistor radio, because they told that I was in a very depleted condition. I couldn't see TV. I could see hazy, and I was not in condition to do anything. So he got me a radio which I could listen to, because he knew I was fond of film songs.
Oh God.
And then when that happened, my friend Anirudh, who got to know that I was in the hospital, in his 2 o'clock afternoon show, would every caller would tell them that my friend, my birth name is Shenazz Nadir Shah. Then Roshani was gifted to me by the last living disciple of Meher Baba, called Bhau Kalchuri.
Okay.
So he says, my friend Roshani is in the hospital, and I want you all to send all good wishes and prayers for her, and then only will I play your song. So every single day I would put on the nurse would put on the radio for me to listen to Anirudh, and I cannot tell you what that program would do to my heart, to my soul, that there are people out there who I don't even know, and Anirudh is making them pray for me. So I have like nth list of names who I have to be thankful about for that entire
I'll
period.
just take 10, 15 seconds only, Mr. Bakshi, if you allow. You know why? All these friends which you have all through by your side, on especially at those moments when you actually need one, they were actually, let me share with you my personal feeling that it was the Almighty Himself who
Absolutely.
came in form of them. And my claps, my kudos, my heart for all of them. Please do convey whenever you see them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vidya, Sagar, Aditya ji, always.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you. And would love to connect with you all for our CSR work as well.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. You are welcome anytime.
I will share his number with you, Roshani. In any case, we will remain connected, because there is a lot of things which we can do together. I don't want to stop here with you.
Let me, Mr. Bakshi, just a moment. Let me confess one more thing. The person who's talking to you, he is such a great soul. He has come to me as he has come to me at that kind of an angel when I was in trouble. It was just a matter of time that we lost connect in between for so long. But again, then for a few years we are back again.
Great.
It is his design to bring us together time and
He truly is. He truly is a God-sent soul himself.
Yeah.
To connect the various as there is a beautiful line of quote of Meher Baba which says, "I've come to put the world as beads on one string."
Yeah.
So that's what I see Bakshi ji doing as well, of bringing people together on a connecting platform as powerful as this, and his other leadership platform, which is on every Wednesday. My hats off to Bakshi ji, and definitely today we need to change the course of leadership to move to conscious leadership. And all my corporate workshops are aimed to do that. That we have to think of that conscious living and conscious leadership to pave the path ahead for the new humanity.
Sometimes I really wonder, how does he manage himself? He is also doing a great work for Kashmiris. He's really a man to...
Thank you. My salutations to you, sir.
To you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bakshi ji.
Roshani, we have crossed 1.5 hours. The beautiful journey, the excellence, the toughness, the struggle, the success, the story. The story is so powerful. People around the world who are watching now or who are going to be watching are going to certainly pick up some of the threads for their own learning. I have certainly picked up some of key learnings. And I am going to work with you, Roshni, on some of the areas together. God willing, air opens up, world opens up. We have a lot to do in this world.
Absolutely.
People like you to inspire, to motivate people that it is not the end of the world. We can come
We
back.
will.
We will come.
Yes, absolutely.
I must thank you, but I would like to invite. She is known to me only last 7-8 months. Her name is Melanie, your friend. And I have the greatest respect for what she does in the world. She is one of my true women power, which I feel very, 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 3 times very proud of. Since she is here, I would like Melanie, who connected you to me, to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Global Talent as well as hashtag Women Power, a global moment. Melanie, yours. Vote of thanks.
Hello, DK. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Melanie, can you open up your camera so we can see your lovely face?
No, I'm not. This is
okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Not able
Okay. Got it.
But this is such a special day for me because I'm seeing two powerhouses, which I absolutely admire and respect together. And I can see the magic just unfolding here. There's so much you're going to be working on together. I can feel that. Let me tell you, I met both of you more or less at the same time, and you have just made my life so much more interesting, inspiring, and better. So I want to thank you both for that. And I'll tell you something, Roshani. When I had the honor of interviewing you for the Golden Door Awards, because Expert Channel TV, we are proud partners of this movement that Tahira created. It's a wonderful movement.
True.
And I just felt something so special just speaking to this wonderful woman. I could actually perceive her energy, her beauty, her peaceful kindness. She is an absolutely special soul. And she's one of those people who you know is here on this earth to do something huge. You can feel it. And DK Bakchi, you are the same. You are both here to do something absolutely massive. And I'm just so honored to be a small part of that. I'm one of the little beads on the necklace.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you. I owe it to you, and I've written in the post as well. So thank you so much for connecting both of us. And I thank the Lord for connecting me to Tahira, to you, my brother Jerry, through whom I know Tahira. So the string, the string in backward integration goes longer and longer. And it's so beautiful that every day of my life, God just adds new beads to it. And I'm just so thankful. And in fact, it is my 10th year, exactly the day when I first went to Mehrabad, which is the tomb and the samadhi of Avatar Meher Baba. So today, on the anniversary of my 10th year in his love and fold, is this amazing interview. And just shortly after this, at 7:30 in our Baba community, we have a session where I'm going to share my life story about coming to Baba. So coincidentally, both fell on the same day, and it can never be besides God's doing. So I'm thankful to God for bringing us all together, and may we collaborate our strengths to make this world the paradise that we dream of every single day. And that's my only wish and prayer, the predominant wish and prayer every single day in my life. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Melanie, for your wonderful words. And I always feel great working with you whenever I get an opportunity. And I don't know, like a big brother, I keep on telling you, Melanie, where are you? What are you doing? So that is how the life has been with you. So we have not met personally as yet, but the power of love between us is very, very beautiful, wonderful, meaningful. So spread the happiness around the world.
Same here.
Roshni, and all the things around, whosoever has been there or who are going to be watching this, thank you so much for being there, Roshni. From the core of my heart, You are a great.
Thank you.
You are a
Thank
great-
you. We all are.
I
We
wish-
all are great.
I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you.
you so much.
Thank you. We all are great, and let us unleash our greatness into the world.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Melanie, love you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Blessings to all.
Blessings.
Thank you.